Hello dear students, today we will discuss about the topic digestive system which is under human physiology. So what is digestion? It is simply the conversion of complex food into the simpler food, and in this enzymes helps a lot. Now what are enzymes? Enzymes are the chemical substances, biochemical substances which will speed up the rate of digestion. They help in the process of digestion whereas they do not change any product. So they will complete this complex to simpler form in the digestive process. For example, if I say carbohydrate, it is converted into the simpler form glucose by the action of enzyme amylase. If I talk about proteins, they are converted into simpler forms amino acid by the enzyme protease. Fats are converted into fatty acid and glycerol by the enzyme lipase. So these are certain examples of the enzyme. So our alimentary canal comprises of the following things like mouth, teeth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, liver, gallbladder. All of these are incorporated into the alimentary canal. If I talk about mouth, then in our alimentary canal, the parts of alimentary canal are mouth, the mouth we have further classified into buccal cavity, teeth, tongue, and one more thing is there. Here are the salivary glands. So the oral cavity is known as the buccal cavity. If I talk about teeth, then they are 32 in number, and the dental formula, they comprise of incisor, canine, premolar and molar. Incisor, canine, premolar and molar, the dental formula is 2, 1, 2, 3. And if we multiply them by 2, we'll get total 32. Like incisor, canine, premolar and molar. That will be 4, 2, 4, 6. These are of the one set. But we have two set of teeth, that will come out to be 32. So this is the dental formula. Now buccal cavity is the opening of the mouth through which the food will enter, and it is also known as the oral cavity. Let us draw the digestive system, then we will discuss the parts one by one. If I draw the digestive system, this is the buccal cavity, the esophagus, here is the stomach, here lies the largest gland, liver, this is the gallbladder and the opening of gallbladder. Here is the leaf-like structure, pancreas, which help in the regulation of sugar metabolism in our body. Then here is the large intestine. On one side it have a blind appendix, and on the other side it has a rectum and anus, from where the waste will be removed out from the body. So these are the small intestine inside. Now let us label this. This is the mouth, this is the tube, esophagus, this is your J-shaped organ, stomach, this is the liver, gallbladder, pancreas, here it is the large intestine, small intestine. There are further parts of these we will discuss on the chapter. Then is the rectum, where the waste material are temporarily stored, and on the lower side is the anus, the opening from where the waste is removed out. The appendix is a rudimentary or vestigial organ. It is of no use in us. Now let us discuss the parts one by one. As I have already told you, mouth or the oral cavity is there, in which there are teeth, tongue, salivary glands, and this help in the proper mastication of food. Then is the esophagus, the pipe through which the food bolus will move into the stomach. It do not have any enzyme. The only work of esophagus is to push the food into the stomach. Now here is the liver, which produces the bile for the emulsification of fat, and is the gallbladder which will store the bile. Now from here the duct will arise which will pour the secretion into the duodenum, the lower part of the stomach. When it meets the small intestine, this region is known as the duodenum. Here, when pancreatic duct also unite with the hepatic duct, here it forms the common hepatopancreatic duct. Then comes the small intestine. The parts of it are jejunum, ileum and cecum. Here the complete digestion and absorption will occur. Then are the large intestine, ascending colon, transverse colon of large intestine and descending colon of large intestine. Then is the rectum. Here the waste material is temporarily stored, and finally the waste is removed via the anus. Now let us discuss about each part in detail. Now let us discuss about the teeth that I have already told you. We have incisor, canine, premolar and molar. Then we have thecodont. Thecodont means the teeth are embedded into the gums. Then we have diphyodont. Diphyodont means the teeth will arise twice, the milk teeth and the permanent teeth. This is about the teeth. Then is the tongue. It is a freely muscular organ. It is connected on the upper surface, and on the tongue the projection are present, that is papillae, and they have taste bud. That's why we are able to taste various substances as sweet, salty, bitter. These all are present as papillae. Then we have the salivary glands. Salivary glands are present in mouth in various forms. Like if I say, there are three: parotid, submandibular and sublingual. Parotid, submandibular and sublingual. These are the positioning of the salivary glands in the mouth. They produce amylase. Parotid is present within the cheek, submandibular in the upper jaw and submaxillary in the lower jaw. This is in the upper jaw and submaxillary is in the lower jaw. Then is the sublingual, which is present below the tongue. So this is the positioning of 4 salivary glands. Here they will change the starch into maltose. The function of salivary glands is this. Then mouth will lead into the pharynx. Pharynx is protected by a flap-like structure that is known as the epiglottis. And epiglottis prevent the entry of food into the windpipe. Then is esophagus. The opening in which the food will go is esophagus. And in esophagus, peristaltic movement will occur. Means contraction and relaxation, so that the food will go into the stomach, that is pushed into the stomach. Now let us discuss about the stomach. It's a J-shaped organ, and the 3 parts of stomach are fundus, cardiac and pyloric. Fundus, cardiac and pyloric. Now in these 3 parts, from here the fundus, it has a sphincter that is known as gastroesophagus sphincter. This part have a sphincter that is known as gastroesophagus sphincter. Then is the cardiac part and the pyloric part. It has on the lower side, it has a sphincter again. Here is a sphincter near the fundus. Then on the lower side near the pyloric is the pyloric sphincter. Then the muscular sphincter opens into the cardiac and is then into the pyloric part. Then we have the small intestine after the stomach. Let us discuss about the small intestine. As I have already told you, there are parts of small intestine. There are three parts: cecum, that is duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So the three parts are duodenum, jejunum and ileum. These are the three parts of the small intestine. Here, duodenum is C-shaped organ and jejunum is highly coiled structure. Ileum will lead into the lower part, that is ileum. And if I talk about large intestine, the parts of large intestine are, they are cecum, colon and rectum. Cecum, colon and rectum. These are the three parts of the large intestine. Then we have cecum. It is the blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microorganisms. Here in the cecum part there are symbiotic microorganisms which are helpful in the digestion. Then is colon. It is divided into three parts: ascending. Further we have divided it into three parts: ascending, descending and transfer column. It is divided into three parts. Descending column is finally connected to the rectum. Then is vermiform appendix. It's a narrow finger-like projection and it is a vestigial organ. Vermiform appendix do not have any function in our body now. Just like wisdom tooth do not have any function in our body, in the same way this appendix do not have any function. Anus is the opening through which the waste material will be released out. Now let us discuss about the layers of alimentary canal. So the layers of alimentary canal are, let me draw the diagram first. The layers are the different layers are there. It's not a single layer structure and every layer has its own function. So sarcosa, mucosa, these are the layers of alimentary canal. Then on the outer side is the longitudinal cells like this. These diagrams are also given in your NCERT book and these are important from examination point of view, so you should always do them. Now let us discuss. First is the serosa. It is the outermost layer and it is made up of connective tissue. Serosa. This is the outermost layer. Then is the submuscularis. It is the second layer. It is formed by smooth muscles and it have inner circular and outer longitudinal cell. Now this muscularis, this is muscularis, inner circular and outer, on the outer side there are longitudinal cell. This is the muscularis layer. Then internal to it is the submucosa, third layer. It is made up of loose connective tissue and it connects the nerve, blood vessels and lymph vessel. In duodenum, there are also glands present which secrete the intestinal juices. So this is the submucosa. This is the, here it is the submucosa. And internal most is the mucosa. These are the four layers of the alimentary canal. Four layers of alimentary canal. Serosa, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. In the stomach, irregular forms are formed by the mucosa. They are known as rad. Then they have finger-like projection known as villi, which increases the surface area for absorption. They are present as brush border also. There are lacteals. The modification of mucosa has capillaries. that transport blood and lymph, they are known as leptins. So this is the alimentary canal layers. Now let us move on to the topic. The next topic we have is the glands of alimentary canal. Now the glands are the tissues which produce hormones for controlling various action. So the gland, a tissue or organ that perform the function of secretion of chemical substances. So the four important glands